Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of our Bible study. I hope you all are doing well. I don't know about you, but the last few months have felt like a few years. So I hope that you are hanging in there and staying positive. Speaking of which, today we're going to be touching on the surface of impatience. Yes, I'm talking to you, Karen. But seriously, we all get impatient from time to time. For example, you're riding in an elevator and the closed door button won't work. And there's always that one person that just keeps hitting the button over and over again, thinking that if they keep hitting it, the door will close sooner. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Well, that is just one example of the illusion of control. And according to psychology, we can have both positive and negative illusions of control. A positive example would be taking confident action in the face of discouragement. So despite your circumstances, no matter how poor they may be, you are confidently trying to keep moving forward, taking control of your situation, despite the things that might be holding you back. A negative example would be overestimating your control over the situation and making costly errors for no reason at all. The reason it is called an illusion is because we have this belief that we can influence the outcomes that are in fact beyond our control. And we see this illusion a lot in our walk of faith. When it comes to having control, the main thing God desires for us to have is self-control. Proverbs 25:28 says, "A man without self-control is like a city broken into and left without walls." So it is apparent by this verse that having self-control is a huge aspect of our overall stability and character. But again, this is referring to your self-control, taking control over the things that you are capable of taking control over. So, how you react, your attitude, your mindset, and your behaviors. And the problem with control is we do have a tendency to overreact. Our passions can easily turn into anger, and our aspirations can easily turn into power lust. Proverbs 16:32 reminds us that whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. We want so badly to have control over our circumstances. But the problem with control is that it can turn toxic real quick. And that is why we see companies fail and relationships suffer. Last week we talked about the armor of God. So let's look at it this way. We are blessed with weapons. But it is our motives behind using those weapons that determine the outcome of the war. Matthew 26:52 through 54. Then Jesus said to him, "Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. Do you think that I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once send me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then should the scripture be fulfilled, that it must be so?" Now, obviously, this verse can be perceived in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to relate it to the subject of control today, because if something is supposed to happen, it is going to happen, but it will happen in accordance to God's plan. I think that we can be so quick to just draw our swords and to take control over our situation without taking the time to pray and ask God about how he would like things to turn out. What does he envision for me in my life? And the people that we consider control freaks are honestly just afraid. The unknown is scary. The unanswered prayers are frustrating. But let us ask the questions of Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Yes, fear is a natural emotion, but it is also our greatest enemy. Fear is a liar, and it is going to try and create these illusions of control. They're going to try and prevent you from following the path of righteousness. My prayer for all of you during this time of uncertainty is for God's peace to enter into your life, for that peace to replace the fear that is eating at you day and night. John 14:27, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. When we rely on worldly pleasures for peace, those illusions of control begin to sneak up on us. Our perceptions of what really matters are twisted, and our judgments are skewed. And perhaps the greatest consequence of this is worry. The kind of worry that is on replay in your mind. The kind of worry that keeps you up in the middle of the night and makes your palms sweat. But Matthew 6:34 says, Therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. One day at a time. That's all God is asking you to do, to follow Him one day at a time. To wake up in the morning with a fruitful attitude, and to go to bed in the evening with a peace of mind. And believe me, I get it. Our hearts and minds are filled with so many things, and there never seems to be enough hours in a day. But Psalms 94:19 reminds us, When the cares of my heart are many, your consolations cheer my soul. When you try to control everything, you enjoy nothing. So if you want real control, drop the illusions that you have and call on the one who really has the control. At the end of the day, you cannot control what's going on the outside, but you can control what's going on in the inside by listening to what God is speaking to your heart. To end this study, I want you to reflect on some questions. I want you to reflect on your own illusions of control. Do you have a false security over certain circumstances? Are you going beyond your means to have control over something that you should be having God take over? Are you more of a control freak than a Jesus freak? My hope is that today's message challenges your trust in God, that your anxieties cease and your illusions fade. May you remember that you are being held by the hands of the Creator, and there is nothing in the whole entire universe that has more control than those hands. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and tune in for next week's study. From one set-free sinner to another, I'm sending you so much love.